Let's address the development that changes JASMY's entire value proposition. The JASMY Chain testnet just went live, and it uses JasmyCoin as native gas currency. This isn't a minor upgrade. This is architectural evolution that positions JASMY closer to Layer 2 functionality. Here's why this matters more than price speculation. Gas tokens generate consistent demand regardless of market sentiment. Every transaction, every smart contract execution, every data verification requires burning or using JASMY. When Ethereum implemented EIP 1559 and started burning ETH for transactions, it fundamentally altered supply dynamics. JASMY Chain creates similar mechanics on a smaller scale. The technical specifications reveal strategic thinking. EVM compatibility means developers can port Ethereum applications without rewriting code. Scalability improvements address the congestion problems that plague legacy chains. This isn't just about speed, it's about making JASMY infrastructure attractive enough that builders choose it over established alternatives. But here's the element most analysts overlook. This positions JasmyCoin within Japan's broader blockchain adoption strategy. Japan has been methodically building regulatory frameworks for crypto integration. Projects that align with government objectives and demonstrate real-world utility receive advantages that Western projects can't access. JASMY's focus on data sovereignty and enterprise solutions fits perfectly within this ecosystem. The testnet launch isn't an endpoint, it's infrastructure foundation for applications that haven't deployed yet. When developers start building on JASMY Chain, every project becomes a demand driver for the token. This is how sustainable tokenomics function. Utility creates organic buying pressure that doesn't depend on retail FOMO cycles. The second catalyst gaining zero attention, JASMY's integration with JUNCTION decentralized network nodes. Starting soon, you'll be able to purchase node access using JasmyCoin, which creates tangible utility beyond holding for price appreciation. Let me explain why node participation matters for token economics. When users lock JASMY to operate nodes, they remove circulating supply from exchanges. Simultaneously, they generate network activity that requires the token for operations. This creates dual pressure. Reduced sell-side liquidity, plus increased functional demand. The decentralization angle matters too. Networks become more resilient as node operators multiply, and geographic distribution expands. JASMY's approach incentivizes participation through both token utility and network rewards, which attracts serious operators rather than just speculators hunting airdrops. Compare this to projects where utility means discounted NFT mints or governance votes that never impact protocol direction. JASMY nodes perform actual network functions: data verification, transaction validation, infrastructure support. That's operational necessity, not manufactured use cases designed to prop up tokenomics. What excites me about this development, it transforms JASMY holders from passive investors into active network participants. The psychology shift matters. When you're operating infrastructure, you're invested in long-term success rather than short-term price swings. This builds community resilience that weathers bear markets. If this infrastructure analysis is revealing JASMY developments that mainstream crypto media completely ignores, you need to smash that like button immediately and subscribe to TJ Crypto World. I deliver these deep dive investigations daily because the space is saturated with surface-level content that just recycles trending narratives. Your engagement tells me you're serious about finding projects building real value before the crowd recognizes potential. Now let's examine the application that could bring JASMY into everyday business operations. The Q4 2025 launch of My Resume, JASMY's recruitment platform, represents something most crypto projects never achieve. Blockchain technology solving actual business problems that companies will pay to address. Here's the premise. Staffing agencies need secure, verifiable resume databases. Candidates want control over their employment data. Traditional systems leak information, enable fraud, and give users zero sovereignty over their professional history. My Resume leverages blockchain to create tamper-proof employment records where individuals control access permissions. Why this matters for JASMY's valuation. Enterprise adoption creates revenue streams independent of token speculation. When recruitment agencies pay to use this platform, they're buying into JASMY's ecosystem. This generates token demand from businesses with sustained budgets rather than retail traders with volatile attention spans. Japan's employment market provides perfect testing ground. Cultural emphasis on employment verification, government support for digital transformation initiatives, and JASMY's existing relationships with Japanese enterprises create favorable conditions for adoption. Success in Japan then becomes proof of concept for expansion into other markets. The broader implication: JASMY is building application layer on top of infrastructure layer. Most blockchain projects focus on one or the other. JASMY's vertical integration from chain to application creates multiple demand vectors for the same token. Data verification requires JASMY. Node operation requires JASMY. Recruitment platform transactions involve JASMY. Each layer reinforces the others. This is how legitimate blockchain projects create sustainable value, solve real problems that businesses face, generate revenue from solutions, and design tokenomics where network growth equals token demand. My resume might not excite retail speculators, but it should absolutely interest investors evaluating long-term viability. Now let's examine the technical pattern that's been reliably predicting JASMY's movements since April. The wedge formation that's compression is nearing its resolution point. Wedge patterns function like coiled springs. As price oscillates between converging trend lines, volatility contracts until pressure releases through breakout or breakdown. JASMY has tested the upper resistance multiple times, each rejection sending price back toward support. Similarly, every touch of lower support has produced bounces toward resistance. Right now, JASMY just bounced from the bottom of this wedge, again. Historical patterns suggest the next move targets the upper resistance, which sits 30–40% above current levels. This isn't wishful thinking, it's pattern recognition based on 6 months of repeated behavior. The indicators support this bullish bias. RSI sits at 46, neutral territory, that allows upward movement without hitting overbought conditions. MACD shows signal line convergence with histogram turning positive, suggesting momentum shift from bearish to bullish. Open interest to market cap ratio remains low at 0.03, indicating minimal over-leveraging that could trigger cascading liquidations. Here's the conservative scenario. JASMY continues respecting the wedge, climbs toward upper resistance around 0.018, 0.020, tests that level, and either breaks through or rejects back down. This outcome aligns with historical pattern and gives clear risk parameters for position management. The aggressive scenario: fundamental catalysts, testnet adoption, node launches, my resume deployment, create momentum that breaks JASMY above wedge resistance. In this outcome, price targets extend to 0.02 initially, with potential continuation towards 0.03 if buying pressure sustains. October's historical tendency toward bullish crypto performance adds seasonal tailwind to this possibility. What's the probability? The technical setup is reliable based on pattern history. The fundamental catalysts are real and scheduled for deployment. The combination creates asymmetric opportunity where downside is defined by wedge support, while upside targets sit 30–50% higher. Before we close this analysis, make sure you're subscribed with notifications activated. I'm publishing a follow-up titled Japanese Blockchain Revolution: 3 Projects Institutions Are Accumulating, that expands on JASMY's position within Asia's crypto strategy. That investigation reveals how regulatory clarity in Japan creates advantages that Western projects can't replicate. Don't let timing cost you positioning before institutional money flows in. Subscribe now. I genuinely appreciate each of you for investing time in this comprehensive JasmyCoin analysis. Your engagement and thoughtful questions drive me to deliver research that cuts through market noise. Remember, the projects that generate sustainable returns are rarely the ones trending on crypto Twitter. JasmyCoin represents that rare combination of real infrastructure development, enterprise adoption potential, and technical setup converging simultaneously. Whether JASMY executes perfectly or faces delays, the framework we've examined today shows you how to evaluate blockchain projects through evidence rather than hype. This is TJ from TJ Crypto World, reminding you that asymmetric opportunities reward those who recognize value before the market does. Keep researching, keep monitoring execution milestones, and I'll see you in the next deep dive where we continue uncovering projects building tomorrow's blockchain infrastructure today.